It's the DawgNation invasion of Georgia, Alabama. Brought to you by Atlanta Sports Trips, Discover Dunwoody, Dr. Pepper, Merriweather and Tharp, Kroger, and R.S. Andrews. Now, from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, here's Brandon Adams.
Good afternoon, DawgNation. Welcome into our DawgNation invasion. We are live here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I got to tell you, in Athens, Georgia, this would never happen. But a true-on invasion takes place here as we have taken this ground, we have claimed this land on behalf of the great state of Georgia. Obviously a precursor to what we expect to happen here today as Georgia goes on that football field just a few steps behind me and gets a win against Alabama. I got to tell you, I love the vibe around Georgia fans here right now. We've obviously been talking to so many, the hundreds who are here as a part of our DawgNation invasion, but also the many more thousands that we've seen in Tuscaloosa thus far today. And I think the vibe that you get right now is a lot of Georgia fans feeling pretty good about the mood around this team going into later on this evening. Now, obviously, we got a long day of coverage here at DawgNation and continues with our DawgNation Game Day pregame show coming up a little bit later on with Kaylee Manziel. And here's what I can promise you. Our game day pregame with Kaylee going to be a lot better than that mess, that garbage you watched on ESPN this morning if you subjected yourself to that. The insufferable love for Nick Saban in Alabama, we knew we were going to get it. And frankly, I'm not even that mad about it because it's direct like that is the reason that DawgNation exists. Because we exist to provide Georgia fans what ESPN doesn't have the guts or whatever to provide. That's what we do here. So we got a great day of coverage on video coming up in a few minutes. Also live here from our DawgNation Invasion Tailgate. And, of course, after the game from the field there at Bryant-Denny Stadium, we believe that Georgia's going to conquer Alabama a little bit later on tonight. So, as I said, the mood has been great. We wish you all could be here. The tailgate itself has been phenomenal. We got all kinds of DawgNation dignitaries hanging out over here. It's been amazing. And I'll give you a couple of ideas of the vibe that has prevailed thus far today. First of all, a lot of folks on the big TVs behind me here watching as Kentucky pulled the upset on Ole Miss a little earlier. And, you know, we joked about this, and some of it probably wasn't even joking, on DawgNation Daily this week, that somehow Georgia's proven to be deficient through 3 games, and yet the team that Georgia dared only get a close win against, Kentucky, goes on the road itself and knocks off previously unbeaten, top 10 ranked Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin was a little concerned because he didn't feel like his team had played a very tough schedule and that they might be exposed just given the nature of who they had played prior to this. That's exactly what happened. And so now all of a sudden, in just simple basic terms, the win for Georgia against Kentucky obviously has to look much better. When you couple that with what Georgia did week 1 against Clemson, who has also looked fantastic in every game it's played the remainder of this season except against Georgia, all of a sudden I think you're left to conclude here that Georgia probably was very much undervalued coming into the week, including by everyone on that ESPN College Game Day panel here earlier today. But obviously the job that the Dogs have later on this evening is to go out there and prove just how true that is. It's one thing to feel like you haven't been given the proper credit and the proper, I guess, due paid to you moving into the game, but the only way you can demonstrate how true that really is by what you actually do during the game. And so that's obviously the challenge for UGA. Also had a chance, we've been in Tuscaloosa, to talk to some people pretty close to the scene with Georgia here. Here's a couple of things that we get the indication of. A, perhaps there's a chance that a Georgia player we thought might not play today, maybe he may be a little closer to playing today than we might realize. There could be more on that coming out as we get closer to game day. And hearing from people who had sort of an eyewitness account of what was going on with Georgia practice this week, here is the message that we were told, and this has been coming out of the scenario in Tuscaloosa thus far today. The word was, this is personal, that this is more than just a football game. This is more than just an experience where, hey, you're trying to, get a win to improve your playoff seeding or maintain a winning streak or anything like that. This is about a game that probably has more emotion for Georgia than any other. And obviously the players seem to understand that. There's been plenty of talk this week about just how intense these practices have been, and that's obviously a phenomenal thing to be able to see. Also, we've had an intensely good time here with our DawgNation Invasion. Can I bring in Faraday here for a second? Can you come on with us? So this is Faraday, one of the people behind the scenes that makes everything go down. Faraday, how much fun has this DawgNation Invasion tailgate been?
There are no words to describe. The fans here are the best, and if you missed out this year, you need to make sure that you're with us in Austin or go to DawgNation.com/tailgate to see where we're going to be next season, because I'm telling you, if you're a dog fan and you're not at the DawgNation Tailgate, DawgNation Invasion, you got to be here.
Faraday, thanks for making a great time. Appreciate that. Good stuff there, Faraday, doing a great job. Making sure the tailgate goes well, and obviously taking care of so many of our great clients. You love to see that. Also, all the folks who make DawgNation Invasion so much fun. How about our friends at Atlanta Sports Trips? Obviously, we know we've been powering these events with them all season long. Holly and Matt and the entire team there, they've been doing a great job. Our friends at Discover Dunwoody have been with us. Many of you took the Discover Dunwoody bus over to the event there in Clemson. We want to thank them. Dr. Pepper. Listen, I told y'all, driving over from Birmingham, I had to be powered by Dr. Pepper. Obviously, there's been a lot of that consumed already. We love that. Meriwether and Tharp, we love them. Ran into Bob and his wife, Ashley, their family, before the Kentucky game. I know they're probably around here somewhere, too. Dog fans to the end, they're having a great time. Kroger, we appreciate them being there as well. R.S. Andrews, also appreciate their great support of this terrific DawgNation Invasion event. It's so much fun, and I joked about this to begin with, the fact that it's, at least in our little part of the world, and I'm not going to lie to you, you get too much farther away, and it's obviously all Alabama. But right here in this particular part of the world, this is sort of our kind of conquered territory, at least for a moment. A lot of Georgia fans, very festive, very happy vibe. We love the fact that when Georgia goes on the road, so many dog fans go with them. And as Faraday said a little earlier, if you've never gotten a chance to be a part of one of these DawgNation Invasion events, we would certainly love for you to be a part of that and get your chance to do that. Let me also see if I can get a quick word with Jeff Sentell. Hey, Jeff Sentell, can I get a quick word? Come here for a second. Quick word from you. Jeff's obviously getting ready for a big day here. He's going to be down on the field. When Jeff joins as part of our DawgNation post-game show later on tonight, he'll always give us that perspective of what. Listen, I hope so. I hope so. Jeff, I guess by now all the talking's done. We've had plenty of time for that. You know, what are your final thoughts? What do you expect to see today?
I think probably a confidence boost. I don't know how many people look deeply into this, but I think a lot of Georgia fans didn't know what the Bulldogs were heading into this game, and it was kind of a find out Saturday in Tuscaloosa. And I think the result, obviously, that happened in Oxford puts a little bit of lipstick on that, don't you?
Sure.
Put some cosmetics on that, and now you go in and beat the team at home that knocked off the number 6 team in the country on the road. I think that gives you a little bit more, what was the term in pro wrestling, a little bit more chest? A little bit more chest about the victory. So, I mean, again, to me, the things I'm concerned about is the defensive line. How much will Michael play? I've been hearing he may only come in on passing downs. I don't know how effective he will be, but it's another man in the rotation when the rotation was a couple of guys down against Kentucky.
You mentioned earlier to me, can we talk about somebody that maybe not expected to play that might be a little bit of a surprise addition? Is that for public consumption?
Yeah, so we have a lot of people here at the DawgNation Tailgate that are saying I've seen the latest availability report, and they're telling me about Georgia players that have been miraculously healed for this game that are available for this game.
In other words, there's a lot of talk that happens around the tailgate. We'll find out if that's true or not. So we'll save that for the tailgate, and we'll see if it actually ends up being true or not. Either way, though, and you're going to have probably one of the best seats in the house for this down there on the field, taking great photographs for DawgNation. You know, we've heard from so many people today, and we'll wrap up with this with you, is that the intensity, the feeling around this is just different. There are a handful of games every year, and sometimes less than that, where it really is ratcheted up to a full fever pitch down there on the field where you're going to be. I know that's what you're expecting.
Brandon, me and this guy traveled to T-Town from Birmingham this morning, and we had the ability, because of logistics where the media parking was, to get to this amazing DawgNation Invasion tailgate.
All you got to do to get to Tuscaloosa, you just got to go west till you smell it, and you're basically there.
Smell it. I love it. But, like, you just walk around this campus, and they get college football, Brandon. They really do. There's pageantry. There's tradition. And this is how I feel. I don't go to one game every 3 years that feels like this one to me.
Well, what they're going to get is these hands coming up a little bit later on from all the Georgia Bulldogs.
Getting these hands. Well, we've seen it already. We've seen some barking everywhere.
That's exactly right. Well, Jeff, good stuff. We'll see you after the game, DawgNation post-game show. Obviously, a lot of excitement here. Curious to know how you're feeling. You know, you're fired up. Are you ready to go for this one here today? Obviously, we got a big day's worth of coverage coming up for you. That includes Kaylee Manziel here in a moment. She's going to have so many interviews, including with Davin Bellamy, all the folks that you need to hear from. Frankly, ESPN's not doing their job on this regard. All they're doing is talking the Alabama side. All they're doing is talking the Nick Saban homecoming side. That's why Dog Nation exists, because we talk about the Georgia Bulldogs. We have big parties for dog fans. We have big coverage of dog games, and we have big-time celebrations after every dog win. And tonight's celebration may be about as good as any has ever been. So stay tuned for all of that. Stay close to Dog Nation throughout the day there as well. As I said before, Kaylee's got your pregame coverage with Davin, Bellamy, and the entire team. And then after that, I'll see you tonight after the game. We'll take your calls. We'll talk about everything that we see. We are expecting to be a good one here for Georgia today. Obviously, it's gotten off to a great start. You love it when a Dog Nation invasion goes off the way this one's going off here right now. Dog fans by the hundreds have made their way to Tuscaloosa, and they've come here for one reason, to snatch a victory, take it with them, and go back home where it feels good. So stay close to your TV, stay close to your device for Dog Nation. Keep a good thought. Also, one final thank to our sponsors here, ATL Sports Strips, Discover Dunwoody, Dr. Pepper, Meriwether and Tharp, Kroger, and R.S. Andrews. Dogs getting ready for the Alabama Crimson Tide. It's going to feel so good if Georgia can walk away a winner tonight. So hopefully that's what we're talking about throughout the day. We'll see you soon right back here on the Dog Nation video channels. Bye for now, though, here from our Dog Nation invasion.